Could you explain the role of interconnection today and the risk it poses?
So from a European perspective, I think it is really, really crucial at the moment to not look at the issues that the EU and the wider region is facing in isolation, but really understand that they hang very closely together. So for example, just take the question of the EU's continued membership in the European Union and the refugee crisis. You can actually, if you look at public opinion data, you can see how the spike, first in the case of the migrant camps in Calais, but then really the escalation of the refugee crisis in September, influenced public opinion, and might actually be a very, very crucial factor. And it will influence decisions on, for example, when to hold the referendum, but also shape the overall discourse. And for decision makers in politics, it makes the situation very, very difficult because they have multiple constituencies to satisfy. Of course, especially the domestic one, but also they interact at a different level when you look at the EU. And it is, I think, at least also for the analysts, it is really, really crucial to not lose sight of how these challenges hang together.
Thank you. Ms. Panelli, in your talk, you discussed that 2016 could be a year of divergence. Could you talk about what that means and its potential implications?
Yeah, it would be divergence on many areas. First of all, divergence in monetary policy, as the Fed and the ECB are set to undertake opposite monetary policies next year. The ECB has just announced today further easing measures, while the Fed is very likely to hike rates later this month. And also divergence as a consequence of monetary policy will be seen in markets, in market trends, but also on a broader scale, divergence between developed markets as a whole and emerging markets as they will decouple further. Developed economies will enjoy a recovery, even if still subdued, while emerging market will be in trouble. Well, most of them will be in trouble next year.
Thank you. And the next question is for both of you. What represents the greatest risk in the world today in the coming year?
I'd go with China's hard landing. I think slower than expected growth performance from the second largest economy in the world will affect most areas of the global economy, not only North Asian manufacturers such as South Korea or Taiwan or Hong Kong, which depend very much on the Chinese business cycle, but generally the entire global economy will be affected given the size of the Chinese economy nowadays.
I would second Francesca here. I think if you look at Europe specifically, the euro area is highly exposed to China in the sense that its exports, China is a major destination for European exports, and I think if you look at Germany specifically, plays a very, very important role in that regard. If China slows significantly, there is really a key question of whether domestic consumption alone can kind of sustain the still relatively sort of slow recovery that we're seeing in the Eurozone.